So last week on Superhost Sunday, I used the photo and actually posted in the Facebook group. Started telling a story. It happened about a decade ago when I was building one of the fastest growing ground transportation companies in the history of the industry in Nashville. And my director of business sales and myself, Don England, and myself dressed up as elves to go to a vendor day for Assurian. Now, if you own a phone or a laptop or an iPad or something like that, and you have insurance on it, it's probably through Assurian. They have the largest market share, like 97% market share of that insurance business. So one of the things that we did is they were celebrating Christmas in July. And it was my first time sponsoring there, and we came up with this idea that we're going to dress as elves. We're going to bring in a real Santa Claus, like the real beard and all that type of stuff, and we're going to do photos. And then most importantly, we were trying to take away the business from my competitor, which was Signature Transportation in Nashville at that time. So they had travel managers in Memphis, Knoxville, Atlanta, New Jersey. We gave them a Christmas present, and it was that they got to be an executive for a day. So that we gave them ground transportation. Most people would give like 2 hours, 3 hours. What we did is we would pick them up in the morning, take them to work, take them to lunch, pick them up afterwards. They want to go shopping, grocery shopping, whatever, go have drinks with the girls. We're letting them be like a real executive, like the CEO of the company. You know, CEO of the company flies in private, goes to a couple meetings, goes to a steak dinner, has a couple of glasses of wine, cocktails, whatever, entertains. That's what we wanted them to experience. So there's two lessons here. They were celebrating Christmas in July. We were the only ones that did anything related to Christmas. We bought into the company's culture, right? We brought them in. We embraced it. We had everybody coming and taking photos with me. You can see how it was branded with our company name. Buying into their culture, that was the first one of the two extra steps. Giving the travel managers, the ones that do all the bookings for all the sales team, the C-suite, the executives, the CEO, all over the world, they'd never been treated the way that we did. We let them have an executive for a day. And Takia, I won't say her last name, was the director of all the travel managers at that time. And I remember when we gave that to them, and she's like, look, nobody's ever done this before. Then we had to activate, and that's one of the most important things. We activated them within 2 weeks. Then she wanted to have a conference call to literally that she was giving us all of the business. It was over $400,000 a year worth of business. And instead of doing just a regular Zoom from our office, Dawn and I went right back to their headquarters, which is based in Nashville, and sat in their conference room. And then we Zoomed. And I said, Taki, will you sit between us? Just from an authority standpoint, right? That we are flanking her, and she is advising all of her travel managers, and they hate to do this, that they are going to have to change from Signature to us. I think we probably still would have won the business if we wouldn't have dressed up, if we wouldn't have done the photos, if we wouldn't have done the executive for a day. But man, it would have fucking taken months for that to happen, because we took the two extra steps twice, because we went all in. Literally, we acquired the business and activated them within 14 days. Imagine if that just takes 3 months at $400,000 plus a year. 400,000. I'm not really good at math. 10. That'd be 40. Like $30,000 a month worth of revenue. That would have cost us close to $100,000 if we would have waited. If we wouldn't have taken the action and spent the money. I don't know what that cost us. Probably a couple of $1,000 to rent the costumes, pay Santa, get some photos printed. Then probably another couple of $1,000 on the back end for our affiliates. Great thing is we had amazing affiliates. So we have partners in Jersey, partners in New York, Atlanta, Memphis, where we had to do this. And they took care of the clients for us. All we had to do was pay for the chauffeur. They didn't even charge us for the vehicle. That's having good partnerships. That's the story on taking the two extra steps. I've got a bunch more that's coming out of my book. Have a great Superhost Sunday, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Apply these things to your business, right? I can tell you right now, my wife and I are in Banner Elk, and we're actually at Elk Lodge, our property. I'll get out of my truck here. Here in Banner Elk. Oh shit, I need the microphone. You probably can't hear me. Here we go. Sorry. We're in, and you can see the sign here. So literally we have guests. It's after 4 o'clock. What time is it while I'm recording this? Holy shit. It is 4:50. Guests check in at 4. They're not here, thank goodness. But look at this. That's acceptable for most people. Not acceptable here. You know, so I haven't been here, shit, for almost a year and a half. You can see my wife down there. Can you see her way down there? Can you wave? There she is. We're just switching out some Schleg locks. She's redoing pillows. We had switched cleaners. That's why we had to come up here. A lot of things to make sure that this is super. That sign's not super. There were a lot of things that weren't super, but we can't let what the cleaners see in the property train them. Cleaner did nothing wrong, but there's a lot of shit that we have to change. So now we're going over to our other house in downtown Banner Elk, check that, then we'll meet with the cleaner, go over everything. Can't do it here today because it's almost 5 o'clock and we still got to paint that sign before we get out of here, before the guests get here. So 2 extra steps. Everything needs to be perfect. The welcome gift, you know, the staging, you know, the number of rolls of toilet paper, the welcome video, all those things. Make sure you're taking the 2 extra steps.